Welcome to the channel, folks. I am so curious about this one. I even put my Rutgers hat on purpose. Of course, I'm always mindful of my Jersey thing behind me there because John O'Dowd, who himself is from New Jersey, made a gift to the channel for me to do this song by a group that I'd not done before, but they are evidently from New Jersey as well. At least they originated here. So, John, thank you, my friend, for this gift. And here's what you said. Well, it's Baillie and the Boys. That's the name of the group. You're My Weakness. That's the song. And John said, as you probably know, Kathy Baillie and her husband and fellow band member Michael Bonagora are from New Jersey too. I didn't know that. I believe Kathy wrote this song with Vince Gill, and I'm eager to hear what you and your viewers think of it. Thank you, Don. Well, you're welcome, John, and of course, thank you as well. Yeah, I read a little bit on Wiki. I don't normally do that. I don't do a lot of research, but when you told me that they were from Jersey, then I saw a gentleman's name, Alan LaBeouf, and I didn't know if he was related to Brian LaBeouf, who passed away about 3 years ago. In any case, let's find out. They moved to Nashville. I saw that, and then that's likely where I saw they were connected to Marie Osmond and some other prolific, I think Randy Travis and some other, where they were singing backup and all that. So I'm guessing that their harmonies are going to be special, although I don't know when they recorded this song. So let's find out what Baillie and the Boys. That is a badass name for a group, I gotta say. I wonder if they knew the Looking Glass folks.
Just when I thought I'd never see you again,
Nice work.
there you were at my door, so I let you in. One look in your eyes and I knew how much you wanted me to. My knees started shaking and my heart was breaking in two. 'Cause you're my weakness when you come around. There's something between us I could never turn down. They should have seen us, just you and me. You're my weakness and always will be.
Well, then you better stay together or you're going to be a temptress and he'll be a tempter. So you might want to keep this thing going. I'm feeling the guitar from his perspective.
I keep on believing it could be different this time. Am I foolish for thinking you could ever be mine? In the morning will you walk away? It's a chance I just have to take. Oh, I hope I'm not wrong, but I let it go on anyway.
Is she the other woman?
'Cause you're my weakness when you come around. There's something
Nice.
between us I could never turn down. They should have seen us, just you and me. You're
Those are inside thoughts. You don't want to tell him this. Ugh. You know, as a guy, and I think about this, maybe it's naivety, my own naivety, perhaps. I certainly have some of that. But for us guys, we just don't think that you women process things this way because we work so hard to try to get you, generally. And I mean, sometimes I want to say throw yourselves at us or make it way too obvious. And then that's a turnoff, at least for me. But we just kind of get shocked that you view us that way. I don't know why. Maybe you women think that. Why does he put up with me? I do know this. I'm friends with a lot of women. The former line of work I was in for 20 years as the co-owner of a dance school for kids on up through high school and then on to college. Me not being a dancer, I was on the business end. So my desk was right in the lobby and my ex-wife was on the artistic side of it. So it was a perfect yin and yang, but I was on the business side, customer complaint, relations, all that sort of stuff. And mothers would ask me questions about how does this work? How does that work? But I was privy to a lot of conversations that women were having among themselves in the lobby, or they would just start sharing it with me. And I would hear them say like, oh my God, I don't know why my husband puts up with me. I'm such a bitch, or I'm such a, or I was so bad, or and you would hear a number of them admit that. A number of them admit that to one another. Like, I know, my gosh, how does he put up with me? And as a guy, that was a revelation because, I've never had somebody admit that to me. Let's put it that way. Anybody I was with never admitted that to me. But I happen to know it is a way that women think. But we guys have our own way of thinking. And that we would be your weakness. It's a shock. But all right, so now that is my part of how it connects to life. But her voice, of course, was gorgeous. I didn't know it was going to be this beautiful, this controlled, this emotional. But she could do a lot more with her voice too. She had to hold back in this song because that was the nature of it. But the guitar work in this, I loved from the very beginning when she sang her first lyrics and then trailed off and then the guitar picked up. I said, oh, this is not a dueling banjos, but this is where he's coming in. This is his thought, his feel, very masculine. And I think the first line set me up for it. The song really was told entirely from her standpoint, but there was a line in the beginning that said, when you show up, I don't know. The implication struck me as I didn't know you felt the same way too. But I don't think he did because he leaves in the morning. Is he married to someone? We didn't know. Never found out. I like songs that are open-ended too, that not too much that's the sign of maturity as a lyricist or a writer, but a songwriter certainly in the lyrics where you leave it open-ended. You don't feel the need to put more in there to pigeonhole the listener into your perspective. You allow it to be enough of a perspective so you know what's going on, but they could superimpose their own life or imagination into the song and let it run wild as Kathy was singing. And the other thought in the beginning, John, for me was I wasn't into country growing up. I was a rock dude. There were very few people into country up here in Jersey. And then there was a station that came out of New York 25 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't think it was Thunder. Well, Thunder 106 is down the Jersey Shore. But whatever it was in business for 5, 10, 15 years, whatever it was. I didn't listen to it very much, but it kind of introduced folks to a bit of country. John Denver certainly did that. The Allman Brothers and Skinner and Marshall Tucker on the Southern rock side of it gave us some sensitivity. Charlie Daniels, of course, Devil Went Down to Georgia. Everybody knew that one. But songs like this wouldn't have come across my path. And so that there are artists here that back in the day were not just into country listening, but were a legit band from Jersey. I love that part of it. And then, of course, you move to Nashville or you move to Austin or you move somewhere where it's bigger and where the record companies are. So, all right, I'm going to rate this song. And I really liked it. I love the texture in her voice. I love the crispness in the guitar work. That was the most prominent. The bass was moving along underneath it as it's supposed to. But the number that popped into my head was a 9.2. Anytime I get to going like it did in the end of it, I know it struck a chord, but I never know what the number's going to be until I realize I got to let one pop into my head. It's an odd thing, I guess, but there it is. Baillie and the boys. Have a great day, folks. Thank you, John O'Dowd from New Jersey. See you on another video and keep rocking the country.